Hey guys, it's Becca Pace here, bringing you a 20-minute core series. If you were with me for the 10-minute slide, welcome back. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome. We're gonna do a very quick warm-up and we're gonna dive right in. So today's core workout will be involving the board as well as floor, so you will need your booties for a little bit. Quick warm-up, hands on the hips, shoulders back. We're gonna take a couple little hip dips from side to side. And then I want you to bring your hands to the upper portion of your glutes, drive your pelvis forward, shoulders back, and then we'll flip to the front and round. So just a little bit of articulation through the spine. Let's do that one more time, just wake things up a little bit, and then we're gonna dive on in. Okay, so from here, everybody, we're gonna jump right onto the board. Feet are gonna be stepping onto the board, toes next to the bumper. We start with 1 minute of our basic burpee. Now we're gonna come into a nice strong plank position. Separate the feet as you arrive to your bumper, stand up. I want you guys to utilize that stand as an opportunity to get your body nice and tall and to open up your shoulders and chest. So think of this as almost part of your warm-up. Again, if you just did that slide with me, you may already be quite warm. But if not, I want you to utilize this opportunity to get a rhythm in your breath, start to focus on opening up the shoulders. And again, as you're sending your legs back, I want you to think, squeeze your inner thighs, squeeze your feet, make sure that your hips aren't piking up or sinking down. We've got about 30 more seconds here on our basic burpee. I'm gonna throw in a few variations for you guys today, so I want you to take this as your foundation. Let's do 4 more together. Make sure you're dropping through that squat as you stand, so you wanna sink into your heels, use them to come up to stand. 2 more times. And we'll do 1 more like this. Now focus on this nice strong plank position. We're gonna come back to it. Make your way down. I want you to, for a hot second, bring your knees to the bumper, or to the board, I should say, and bring your elbows down to the matted area. Lift your knees. You can separate your feet a little bit. We've got about 45 seconds of plank ups. You can do these on your toes or on your knees. So I'm gonna lead with my right arm on the way up and down, and I want you to kind of pick that dominant side and do it about half of the way through. So as you're going up and down from elbows to hands, try to keep your hips as level as possible. And on the board, obviously, it makes it a little bit more tricky because we've got an unstable surface. I'm gonna switch to my non-dominant side, and we're gonna work from there. So maybe you wanna work with your knees on the board here as well. What I want you to also focus on, guys, is keeping your neck long. What tends to happen is the head starts to drop between the shoulders, but think about a little string pulling the top of your head away from your heels, and a little string pulling your belly button up. 2 more, everybody. I'm keeping my knees down for these next 2. We'll do 1 more. And then on this next one, guys, I want you to place your hands back on the bumper and lift your knees if they're down. Toes come back to the bumper, we stand up, and we're ready for a second variation. So we're coming back to our slow-mo burpee, but I want you to bring a diagonal knee drive across, opposite elbows, and we'll live here for a minute. So we're just adding on a little. You will likely start to be feeling your mid and low abdominals at this point. So in this minute, focus on precision. Can you get your knees to rise up on the backs of your arms a little higher each time? This is a great opportunity to kind of recognize hip mobilization as well. So notice how I'm coming back to that strong plank in between. Something to focus on there as well. This is your foundation. And you can always build upon this. If you do more workouts with me or with the rest of the team, you're gonna find burpees or these squat thrusts scattered throughout. So just pay attention to keeping your shoulders over your wrists, abs drawn up and in. And again, we want quality movement here. Let's do 3 more together. And I'm always trying to drop into my booty a little bit before I come up to standing. So in this next one, guys, make it your best one yet. Light on the feet, strong upper body. And as you come up to standing, I'm gonna have you step off your board and make your way to a seated position. So our second little variation here on the floor, guys, roll on down. I want you to feel your palms sort of pressing into your sides. We're gonna lengthen the tailbone by tucking it like a little naughty dog. And then I want you to press your hips up and pull your ribs in. What I don't want to happen is this. Pull the ribs, squeeze your booty, and we're here for a minute, halfway up, and we press to the sky. So what I want you guys to focus on is really driving your heels down. And on the exhale, your ribs cinch in, almost like you want them to sort of sew together. The more you can push your knees towards your toes, the more you're gonna activate your glutes, hamstrings, and eventually your low back muscles. So we're here for about 30 more seconds. Let's exhale on the press. Your shoulder blades should be heavy and wide. I personally like to really press my palms into the floor. So we've got about 15 more seconds here. Really activation through the glutes. Abdominals are pulling down and in. And we're here for 5 more seconds. I want you to take your hips up to the sky into this glutes bridge and hold it for a moment. And like a little dancer, we're gonna do a little pelvic tilt like this. If anyone's ever watched Conan O'Brien, you know what I'm talking about. Boop, 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 boop. We've got 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. I want you to melt down 1 vertebra at a time. Once you get to the floor, hug your knees into your chest, give your hammies a little stretch, and then we're gonna stay here. Keeping your mid and low back pressed down, everybody. Elevate your shoulder blades and find this sort of C curve. Bringing your right knee in, extend your left leg long. We have our single leg pull. So, as you're doing this, I want you to take a breath in and a breath out. And you guys can totally stay slow. And eventually, if you want to pick up that speed, that's sweet as well. What I also want you to think about is elevating your shoulder blades a little higher. What we want to avoid is clenching the chin to the chest. So guys, as you find your rhythm, we want to find that neutral neck, almost like you're holding a plum or a peach or something in there. Don't let it run away. Don't squish it. Keep your legs moving and find that breath. We've got about 10 more seconds here. And as you're doing this, make sure the arch of your back isn't lifting. So you want to keep the low back muscles sort of pressed into the floor. Let's go 10 more seconds here. Good. So in 5 seconds, you'll bring both knees into your chest, release the head, neck, and shoulders in 3, 2, and 1. Let's chill here for a second. You can circle your knees around a little if that feels good. And then we've got just one more move here on the floor for this first round. Extend your legs up to the sky. If your hamstrings are tight, bend your knees a little bit. Again, lower back is pressed. We're gonna elevate the upper back muscles, and going into a scissor, drop one leg, feel a little hamstring stretch, and then release. Once again, I'm gonna go back to that 10-minute sprint that we were doing on the board. This is your little stretch, so we're gonna do a little activation. So on these scissors, my friends, if you wanna keep your hands behind your thighs, great. If you wanna bring your hands a little bit lower on your leg, aim for your calf, maybe aim for your ankle, depending on your hamstring flexibility today. Now, your final option here, if you wanna give it a whirl, is to extend your arms at your side with your palms up. Now, as you're doing this, we want to focus on a lengthening from the hips to the toes. As you do that, you're going to feel your lower back pressing into the floor, legs growing longer, and you've got just 10 more seconds on this scissor, guys. Keep up the good work. And remember your breathing. So in 5 seconds, everybody will bring the knees into the chest. In 3, 2, 1, let's relax. Again, take a little rock and roll here. Give your back a chance to massage into the floor. And then I want you to use that momentum to rock yourself back up, and we'll come into standing, and we'll get back on the board for our second round, guys. So we step on the board like so. We did this earlier, arms up to the sky. This time we're doing a combination. Hands can be placed on the wood or on the mat, depending on comfort. As you come into your plank position, guys, really ground your palms down, and I want you to add a knee pull in the middle, and then see what happens with your hamstrings as you pike up. Okay, so we're gonna do this for about a minute. As you're doing this, I want you to focus on exhaling when your toes pull in. So we breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and so on and so forth. And you've got 30 seconds to find this rhythm. I want you to stay light on your toes. Feel like that string is now lifting your hips up to the sky. Always come back to that strong plank. That's your foundation. We've got 15 seconds on this combination. Keep it up. Keep your palms pressing down. Maybe look at your toes. And we breathe and we move. And it's super great. And I want you to go 10 more seconds here, playing around with range of motion and saying hello to your lower abdominals. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and set your knees down, make your way to elbows, shoot your legs back, and just for a second, elevate your heart center. So we open up the abdominals and give our hip flexors a little chance to release. Okay, stay on your forearms. Come to your knees for a second, and then send your legs back and open up your feet a little bit. So you got about shoulder width distance. You're gonna drop your heels to one side, up and over to the other. And we're in our hip dips. We're gonna live here, whoa, for about 45 seconds. So use that board. I want you to really flex your feet a lot. You're gonna notice as you go up and over, that slippery surface causes for a little extra adjustment in your legs and your glutes. So fire those bad boys up. We've got 30 seconds on this hip tilt. Push your shoulders down. Elbows should be really pushing down into the floor. So for about 20 more seconds, can you get your hips 1 inch above the floor? See how far down you can go. We're in the home stretch with just 10 more seconds to go. In 3, 2, 1, let's carefully set the knees down, push your hands onto the bumper again, and shoot your legs back. Once again, we're gonna revisit our burpee with another combination. So hands come down. Revisit that strong position. I want you to bring your knees now through the center, and then back to your standing position. So for 1 minute, take that knee drive through the center, and maybe you start with 2, and it starts slow. Eventually, if you want to double this up, maybe you take 4 knee drives a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stand and stretch. 30 seconds. So you've got that slow-mo option. Or if you're looking to elevate your heart rate a little bit, maybe those knees drive a little faster and you double up those counts. So in 15 seconds, we're gonna stay at the top, give ourselves a little stretch. Whew. Let's do 2 more together. I'm really digging this 4 knee drives. I'm gonna stick with that. And we've got 1 more to go. All right, when you get up to the top on this next one, let's open up the chest and step off your board. This is where we're gonna remove our booties. So go ahead and just lift 1 heel at a time. Set your booties on your board so they're out of your way, and turn so you're facing the length of your board. So you've got some space. We're gonna be doing a walkout plank. So go ahead and walk out. Find your strong plank position. I want you to tap your shoulders without moving your hips. Then bend your knees, walk it on back, roll up to stand. Guys, we're gonna live here for about 1.5 minutes. What I love about this combination is it's strengthening for the core and shoulders, but we're also waking up that hamstring flexibility as well. So maybe each time that you do this, you think about getting your legs a little bit straighter. And even if it's not a lot, you are gonna feel a difference the more you do this. So repetition is totally key here. As you come into that strong plank, guys, maybe toes are slightly opened so that your hips are not gonna swivel as much. So I feel like the wider the base, the easier it is to kind of keep those hips without rocking from side to side. Okay, so I'm gonna start to straighten my legs a little bit, because selfishly, I wanna stretch. So we've got about 45 seconds here, so we're about halfway through this. Now, if you're finding that my tempo is a little quick or a little slow, find a tempo that really works for you so that you can really nail all these moving parts. But again, we have that beautiful plank foundation to work from. 30 seconds to go. Keep pulling your belly button up. Keep reaching your head forward. Okay, so again, you play around with that hamstring activation. And we allow the arms to kind of float so we get a little shoulder mobilization. I'm gonna have you do this 2 more times, everybody. Head is reaching away from heels. We've got 1 more to go. We walk it on down. Okay, I'm gonna have you stay here. Lower your knees. Come on down to your tummy. And for now, just bring your hands sort of at your sides, or in fact, let's put them one on top of the other. So think about your post or your anterior chain, your front of the body here. I'm gonna have you flex your toes for now. Pull your right heel in and kick your butt. 1, 2, point and release. Do the other side. Kick, kick, point and release. So this is a really great way. It doesn't maybe feel like much, but this is gonna activate your low back muscles. This is gonna start to open up the front of the body. So finding your neutral spine, kick, kick, point and release. So on that kick, kick, there's activation. As you point and extend, I want you to feel like somebody's pulling you from your toes. So it's like you're reaching away. So we've got 15 more seconds. Your butt should be active here. Okay, so let's do 1 more on each leg. Kick, kick, point and reach. All right, now from this point, guys, let's keep our hands like this, but bring them to the back of the head so elbows stay wide. Pin your toes down, pull your abs in, squeeze your bum, breathe in and lift your heart. Breathe out and lower down. We're gonna do 5 like this. Inhale, open up the chest. Now you may find that your chest comes off the floor just a little bit, and that's okay. Find what works for you as we do this 3 more times. Breathe in at the top. So I want you to keep your toes pressing into the floor, legs stay active. On this next one, my friends, you're gonna stay right here. Reach your arms back like you're a superhero flying through the sky. Hold it. And now see what happens when you lift your feet off the floor. Like you're the top of the ship. Hold right here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. As you set your feet down, let's all push back, take a child's pose, release your lower back. Stay here. Press your armpits down to the floor and maybe shift your weight from right to left. Okay, so we're in our final sequence, everybody. I'm gonna have you make your way to your left forearm or right, doesn't matter, we're gonna do both. And I'm gonna give you multiple options. You guys can bend your bottom knee as option 1. You can stagger your feet or stack your feet. I'm gonna go to option 1 today and hold. Now you're driving your ribs up towards the sky as you push the bottom shoulder down. Let's look up at the top hand. You're holding for 30 seconds. It might seem boring, but it's super activating for your abdominals and your glutes. So keep firing, keep pulling in. Just 10 more seconds, we're gonna add a little flare. Keep reaching away from that top ear. In 5 seconds, we're doing a little reach under. So I want you to hug yourself in 3, 2, 1. Reach to the back of your ribs and then open up to the sky. We're here for 30 seconds. Exhale under, inhale up. So what I love about this is we get to open up that upper back area a little bit. We're halfway through. Bottom booty cheek is activating quite a bit here. So 10 more seconds. See if you can find a little bit more of a twist. Let's do 2 more together. So we're looking to aim for the back of the rib cage. Last one here. Everybody take that top arm, bring it to your ear, flare your ribs like a rainbow, hold for 3, 2, and 1. You'll lower your hips. We're gonna go right to the other side. So I'm gonna swing myself around. You guys can do whatever to get yourself to the other side, and let's set ourselves up into that strong held position. So, top arm reaching for the sky, ribs to the sky. You're squeezing your bum almost like you're tucking your tailbone like a little puppy dog who did something naughty, and we're holding for another 20 seconds. Cinch your ribs in. Maybe look up at your top hand. Actively push the floor away with your bottom forearm. In 10 seconds, we add our reach under. Keep the activation through your middle. All right, get ready for that twist, that reach under. See what happens on that second side in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take it under. So we can flare it up. Squeeze the abdominals as we twist it back. Maybe notice if one side has a little more range of motion than the other. Something to think about, but I also want you to really work that breath. Exhale to twist. Inhale to open. We've got about 15 more seconds here on this twist. Remember, you've got 3 leg options. If you want to add more of a challenge, go ahead and pick up both of your legs and come into that stacked foot. We're doing this one more time together, everybody. Take it under. Twist it up, and now bring your top arm to your ear and flare your ribs like a rainbow. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and lower the hips down. Make your way to a seated position, feet together, knees apart, and we've got a very gentle cool down for 2 minutes. So go ahead and sit up nice and tall, take a breath. Well done. We got through the good work for today. Now let's stretch things out. So I want you to press your elbows into your inner knees, inner thighs, and go ahead and let your body hinge forward. You should be feeling a groin stretch, outer hip stretch. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and let your body sort of melt all the way down. Arms can be extended out at your sides. Head is heavy towards your feet. Maybe you want to shift a little here from side to side. Let's breathe into this for about 3 more deep breaths. If you feel like you've got a lot of stuck stress in your hips, guys, just shoot your heels away from you a little bit. So we'll take 1 more breath here. And then let's open up our hips a smidge. So as you come up, I'm gonna just have you stagger your legs. So like so. And then you're gonna twist around, touch your knee. And you're gonna push this thigh away. So think about pulling your knee away from your twisted shoulder. Okay, we're gonna hold it right here. That should feel good. We get a spine rotation. We get a quad and hip flexion, stretch. Sweet. As you come back to the center, just switch up your legs. You're going to tick-tock the knees in the other direction. Sit up tall. Again, you can scooch that knee away a little more depending on how much of a stretch you need. And as I press into this side, it gives me a little resistance so I can lengthen the spine and allow my head to corkscrew back over my opposite shoulder. So use your breath. And again, you can pull that heel in for a deeper quad stretch. Go ahead and stay there for 3, for 2, and for 1. And as you come back to the center, everybody, I'm gonna have you come back into that sort of up dog. So we're pressing the shoulders down, lifting the chest up. Legs are strong. And then lastly, slither your way up into hands and knees. Send your tailbone up to the sky. Take a couple stretches here, pedaling out the feet and maybe fluttering out your lips so you relax any tension that might be remaining in your jaw. And then as you walk your hands and your feet to center, guys, just slowly roll yourself up to standing, shoulder rolls back. And again, hands come to the base of the back, upper glutes, hips go forward. And then we round out the spine, shoulders come in. And as you stand up tall, I want you to give yourselves a round of applause because we are finito for this 20-minute core series. Well done, everybody. Stick around. We'll see you at the next workout. Great job, guys.